Hey everyone, how's it going? It's just me here right now because Sarah and I recorded a video the other day and we talked about a few things that are still pretty relevant, but I kind of wanted to insert this here because Viv's final game with Arsenal just happened a few hours ago, and I think we're going to do another video on it. Maybe not, but it's very emotional. She scored. It was like a fairy book ending in some ways. She comes in the 60th minute, and then within 4 minutes, I think it was her first touch, and she scores with an assist by Beth. So it was kind of a fairy tale ending in that way. And she had made a speech, and they played Cornelia Street, which is her favorite Taylor Swift song. So it was very emotional, and she ended with her last appearance scoring a goal for Arsenal. So it was very emotional, and I did want to mention that. And actually, Chelsea ended up winning the WSL title today as well. Like I said, we might do another video about that. But one of the main points of our video that we talked about was, the situation with Beth and Viv. Now that Viv's leaving, is Beth going to leave at some point? In the video, we talk about it, timestamps down below for that. But one of my comments was, maybe Beth wants out as soon as possible. I did see this clip. I'm not going to play it, but I'll put a screenshot of it. As Viv and Beth are walking out to their car after the game, somebody yells something. I can't piece together what they yell, but what Beth says after that is she goes, "Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere," or "I'm not leaving." A comment like that. Because, does she want to leave now that Viv's leaves? So she did say that. She says, "I'm not going anywhere." Now, does that mean she's not going anywhere right now? Because I also, in the video I mentioned, I don't know when her contract ends, and I just read a comment that her contract ends in 2025. So she's there till 2025, and then maybe she won't be around after that, because in the video Sarah and I kind of talk about maybe she wants to leave right now, that Sarah and I recorded. But just emotional day, Viv leaving, and everyone's just bummed, happy yet sad at the same time. So I did want to mention that here, that Viv's last game she scored. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's Vivianne and Miedema'S. That's when I'm like, see, Jonas. So it's not surprising whatsoever. Beth getting the assist. I mean, that was very special, and everyone who was there got to witness something really special. So I'm going to play the video that Sarah and I did. Like I said, we might hit on some parts that aren't exactly the most relevant anymore, but based on the video today, Beth said she's not leaving. Now, she could say that, and then in 6 months, a year, something happened. I don't know if that is even possible, but I did think it was interesting. Beth did say that when, maybe people are worried. I'm going to go into the video, but yeah, I just wanted to put that here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're doing kind of a part 2.
Yeah, kind of a part 2, kind of a follow-up, because last video we posted was about a couple things, but the main thing was that Viv officially is leaving Arsenal after 7 years, and people aren't happy. Most people are upset most people are not happy with the Arsenal organization. And we did get a lot of comments, and there's 2 things I wanted to talk about that we didn't on last video that I just kind of want to briefly go over, because I don't know if a lot of people saw these things, but I thought they were very significant. And one of the things actually has to do with Beth, because as we can imagine, Beth and Viv and the whole Arsenal team don't seem happy about this situation. We talked about it. Sometimes the players leave and it's on their terms, and it's sad, but it's the way it's going. It was the player's decision. By all accounts, this was not Viv's decision. Viv wasn't even given an option. She wasn't offered a contract to even say yes or no to. So by all accounts, no one's happy because of the way everything went down. So that leads us to, and we talked about it a little bit on our last video, what does this mean for Beth and Viv also as a couple, as partners? What does it mean?
Dog moms.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that we do know, that Beth is not happy at all. And we know this because what we saw on Twitter. A lot can be said from things people like on Twitter, the likes on Twitter, because I think it's one of those things that players do to get their point across without having to say it themselves. So Beth liked a tweet that kind of explained she isn't happy. And I'll have Sarah read this tweet.
Would have expected Arsenal to try and move heaven and earth to keep Vivianne Miedema, one of the greatest who have ever graced the league at just 27. She still has so much to give. Losing her on a free and potentially a rival doesn't seem like the brightest idea either.
So she liked that tweet. I think we know what she's saying, that they let Viv go without a fight for free. That how dumb can a club be, kind of thing.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head right now.
She has since unliked that tweet. So she did like it. She unliked it. But I think it was definitely purposeful. She didn't do it by mistake. She wanted people to know. Because we remember the whole thing went down with Jess Carter and Catherine and Emma. Jess Carter was on a liking spree as well. And these players want their feelings to be known without actually having to say it. And Beth made it clear what she said there.
Exactly. When you're fired up, the fingers, they're just liking.
Yeah. And also, Katie McCabe liked an interesting tweet as well. This one is still liked. So if you go to Katie McCabe's Twitter, it's still liked. It says, Leanne Sanderson, she said, big baller, one of my faves. Whoever gets Vivianne Miedema is very lucky. Big loss to Arsenal. Some people have short-term memories. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty clear, too, what Katie is saying.
Yeah, everybody should like that and retweet it, you know?
I mean, this goes to the narrative. They're not happy. Viv is obviously not happy, hurt, upset. Beth, as her partner and her teammate, not happy. And Beth Mead had an interview, I think yesterday or today. And so you can see by this video, I'll maybe play it in the background. She's been asking, she's not being asked about Viv at all. I don't think even Viv's name came up. But you can just see by her demeanor. She doesn't look happy. She looks upset. Mm-hmm. She looks over it. She just does not look like a person who wants to be in the interview. Because we know Beth, usually she tries her hard to be the most, she likes that part. She likes interviews and things, but you can tell by this interview in particular, she just doesn't look happy.
Yeah, if I was in her position, I would have the same exact face that she has in that interview.
Yeah. And then top comments on this video goes, easy to see she isn't happy. She's so over it. She looks so sad. Yeah, and then someone goes, what's her name? So she's not happy. This leads me to think, when's her contract up? I know she signed it in 2022, but in the UK, they're very hush-hush about terms, lengths, monetary compensation. They're very hush-hush about those kind of things. In the United States, it's a lot different. In the United States, it's pretty transparent, but in the UK, it's pretty on the DL about those kind of things. But this would lead me to believe, I actually saw a tweet about it too, said maybe Beth wants to get out as soon as possible now. You know what I mean? She wants to get out as soon as possible. She's so upset. She's so pissed off. Does this mean she's on her way out? No. She signed it 2 years ago. I don't know how long for how long. Could it be 3 years? Could it be 4 years? Could she just say, I want out? But is Beth now on her way out?
I wouldn't blame her, and she should follow wherever Viv's going.
How sweet would it be if Viv goes to Man City, then Beth goes to Man City, and then they go and beat Arsenal like hella?
And yeah, that would be the cherry on top.
Yeah. And then apparently Lucy Bronze is leaving. She's leaving Barcelona. Maybe she'll go back to Man City,
Be a hot team.
Yeah. Does this mean Beth is leaving? I just saw a couple people on Twitter talk about that, but I did see this video and she definitely doesn't look happy. And then also yesterday, Viv actually tweeted some kind of emotional tweets about upset, being hurt, about mental health, because we know she's been open about her mental health in the last few years. And those Insta stories made me think that something bad is happening, but she is trying her hardest to deal with it in the most proactive way possible, kind of saying she knows that she's upset and to say, I'm going through a hard time, but I'm going to get through it at the same time, kind of thing. So she posted those yesterday.
Sometimes life can be challenging. We can be sad, happy, angry, scared, or even all at once. We can feel overwhelmed, anxious, or simply just not sure what to do with any of these feelings. This is all okay and normal.
Yes. I mean, that's a really healthy way to deal with it. And obviously she has a partner in Beth who is A, understands this kind of thing, and B, is there to listen and help her. So obviously Viv is still dealing with it. Because also we didn't really read this. Beth says I won't read it, but Beth basically says, "Thank you for all you have done. Arsenal won't be the same without you. A record breaker, a baller, a GOAT, the ultimate scorer, the list goes on." And it just says how much she's been honored to play with her and how much she's done with the club. Then Viv responds and says, "I love you and I love playing with you." So very sweet and just sad, realistically. And then, there has been a lot of discussion around the WOSO world, especially in the UK, about this situation. And Ellen White was on a radio show. She actually said something kind of funny. She knows the situation, and she's kind of like, what the heck is going on? I'll read you the quote.
"If she does want to go somewhere else in the WSL, I hope she goes to that team and sticks 2 fingers up at Arsenal and scores a few goals and celebrates hard." Well said.
Yeah. And that's coming from a mama too.
Oh yeah, they're the fiercest.
Yes. So people are still kind of stunned and shocked and in shock. But yeah, so that is what's going on. Is Beth on her way out as soon as she can because she's so upset? Based on that interview, you saw her face. And also, we talked about the altercation with Viv and Jonas on the pitch. I'm kind of torn about it. Part of me, it doesn't really look like a shove, but you really should never put your hands on anyone in any circumstance. I saw some people saying that it should be investigated. Now, I don't know if the investigation should be about Jonas's behavior or that specific incident or both. And I didn't know what game it was from, but this person says the video is from an Everton away game. Viv was about to come on and they were down 0-1 and they were up 0-1. Then Everton scored, making it 1-1, and Jonas decided not to bring her on. So there was obviously a discussion. Viv wasn't happy. Jonas, as much as we don't like Jonas, he's the boss, so he makes the decisions and. And then also, I did read this, and I didn't mention this, but we remember when Emma Hayes had some choice words about Jonas at the Arsenal-Chelsea game. Remember
Sorry, I just remembered the shoving match that they had.
Yes. And a lot of people are saying, everyone gave guff to Emma because she was saying male aggression, yet she's the one who kind of initiated it, seemingly. Now people are kind of saying, and then someone goes, "Gotta love the fact that Emma Hayes was right after all about the Arsenal manager." Emma Hayes was onto something, and then Emma Hayes wasn't too far off the mark. And I think a lot of people are saying, okay, because Emma didn't get the best publicity on that situation, but now people are saying, okay, I get what she's saying. So I did read that as well. And also, we did talk about this kind of in the last video that, it's just sports, nothing. It's sports. That's the way it goes sometimes. The Arsenal has to look at their books. We are under the assumption it was not Viv's choice to leave. However, there's a good point to say maybe she wanted to leave, and because she didn't like Jonas. Obviously, if she's getting in fights with him multiple times and you don't like your coach, why would you really want to stay? And I think that's a good point. I just saw this comment. I'm going to read this comment.
Not sure why the assumption is this was not Viv's choice. All the interviews she has done and comments reported made it sound like she was not impressed with Jonas. Arsenal have underperformed for the resources he is available for over 2 seasons. If I were Viv and I thought my boss was an incompetent idiot, which is the impression she gives of her opinion of Jonas, I would leave. It's very demoralizing to work for someone you do not respect, and she would not be offered a contract if she has given the impression again that she doesn't want it. Jonas does a fair bit of punditry on UK TV and surprisingly doesn't come across as particularly sharp. Okay, Viv is meant to be a smart football thinker, previous coach and other players have said. So with Jonas's ego, this would cause friction neither would enjoy. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a very fair point that she doesn't seem to really like him realistically, and so why would she want to continue to play there? Unless she went to the club and said she had certain conditions she wanted them to make, or her agent let them know there's conditions, and the club heard that and said, well, no, that's not going to work. Whatever the conditions may be, I want to play at a different position. I want whatever the conditions, but that definitely could have happened, possibly.
Maybe she wanted to be goalie. I can see it.
So there is that side of it where there's a good possibility Viv didn't want to come back, and maybe she was open to the idea under certain conditions. That's just me speculating. But the club said, that's not an option. It's not going to happen. Better just part ways rather than trying to make the situation work when it's really not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did want to give that side as well. So, I mean, there's just so much going on. People are not happy. Arsenal also recently announced that Sabrina D'Angelo is leaving Sabs, the backup goalie, and people are not happy about that either, because she was really quality. And someone tell Arsenal admin that this April Fool's month is over. And then someone says, bro, what is happening? Why are we dropping like flies? So people aren't happy about that either. And then some people are saying after Viv left, there was posts and I noticed this too. They were like piling on posts after the Viv goodbye to kind of almost get rid of the Viv goodbye stuff. Like, yeah. I did notice that. And I thought that was a little weird.
Classic sus behavior.
Yes.
Not cool. Classic PR move.
Yeah. And then someone goes, it's a loss for Arsenal. Jonas is an ass. He's a self-absorbed individual. Yeah, someone goes, time to get rid of Jonas. He is useless. And then someone goes, afraid I can no longer support Arsenal while he is manager. And this person's going to go Saturday to say goodbye to her, and that's it. And which I think, a lot of people are going to say goodbye to Viv. Meant so much. I mean, so many people have left comments, and I've seen around the web how much Viv's game, the way she played, just meant so much to them. Somebody in our comment said she was from Minnesota, and that's what's got her into the watching soccer was Viv, and she meant so much to so many. I mean, she didn't die or anything, but and also we did talk about Viv and Beth. What does this mean for the relationship? I did see this interesting comment, and then this person goes, according to Beth's book, Beth doesn't do long distance, even when it's the same country. She ended it with Rachel Laws. So maybe that's another reason why Beth wants to get out of Arsenal, because if she doesn't do long distance, maybe she's like, I have to be with my person. Or she might have said it before, when she was writing the book, she truly believed that. But once she's with Viv, she'd be like, I'd be anywhere. I don't care where Viv is. I'd be anywhere to stay with her. I did read that comment, which is interesting, What does everyone think? Questions, comments down below. I guess the big thing is the tweets from Beth not being happy, and also Katie. And is Beth on her way out? And, between the shoving incident and between both shoving incidents, between everything that's going on, is it, what are your thoughts? And people keep saying, maybe if I find a tweet, I'll put it up. She's 27 years old. Yeah, she's had injury, but it's like even when she gets back to full strength, she's still at the prime of her career. You know what I mean? And to let her go like that, it's just wild.
My God, she's a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Questions, comments down below. What does everyone think? Talk to everyone later. Have a great night. Bye.